to Ashes in Palatine, Illinois. Hey, Ashes, what's up?
Right. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My question is, do you know what specific industries will be affected by the TPP and how it? I'm not very. I don't understand how the TPP affects our sovereignty. So if you can explain that as well too.
Sure. First of all, my understanding is that basically all industries are going to be affected by the TPP because it's going to affect the way that we bank, it's going to affect the way that we engage in politics, it's going to affect intellectual property, it's going to affect the ability to compete. There are specific areas that are discussed. There are specific chapters or categories or pieces of it, but I don't think that anybody doing business in America is not going to be affected by this in one way or the other. And the way that we lose sovereignty is the same way that we already lost some of our sovereignty with NAFTA and GATT, the WTO. And that is and I can tell you how it works in NAFTA. In NAFTA, there is, and you can easily find this, just, go to DuckDuckGo and plug in NAFTA Chapter 11, and you'll find out what I'm talking about. Chapter 11 of NAFTA sets up what's called a trade tribunal. And these are three-judge courts, basically. And the judges are not necessarily, occasionally there's a representative of a country, but typically they are representatives of corporations. And for example, when the Mexican tuna fishers said it's unfair and illegal that in the United States they have passed a law saying that you can't catch tuna in a way that also kills dolphins, the industry, the industry sued the United States of America, and the lawsuit went not to an international court, but it went to the NAFTA court, and the NAFTA court said, "Yep, you're right. This is a violation of free trade." And because we had signed NAFTA, and and when you sign a treaty, the Constitution says treaties become the supreme law of the land. They supersede everything. Arguably with the exception of the Constitution, but they supersede any laws passed by Congress. And so that law by Congress that said that it was illegal to sell tuna in the United States that had been harvested, where the tuna that had been caught in a way that killed dolphins, that was illegal, and that Mexican dolphin dead tuna could then come into the United States. And in fact, we could no longer enforce the law against our own people. And there was a similar one that had to do with EDTA. There's a gasoline additive that was leaching into the water in California, and they had passed a law against this, and the company that makes it up in California sued. And I don't recall if this was under NAFTA or the WTO, but it went to one of these trade tribunals, and California lost. And so, the stuff is still in our gasoline, or it was when I wrote Unequal Protection, when I wrote about this stuff back a decade ago. There was another one where there was a funeral home in Alabama or Mississippi, somewhere down south, a chain of funeral homes, and a funeral home company in Canada sued them and said that the practices that you're engaging in are anti-competitive because, we want to do it our way or whatever. There was some technical and they won. In other words, our government can no longer protect our people. We no longer live by our laws. We end up living by the laws of the TPP. We end up living by the laws of NAFTA and WTO. And that's why we've lost 50,000 factories in the last, since 2000, since George Bush came into office. It's why we've probably lost 100,000 factories or more since Ronald Reagan's presidency. And it's why and how we lose sovereignty in these things. Ashes, thanks a lot for the call.